This video is brought to you by Robinhood, the free and easy to use investment and trading brokerage. Robinhood allows you to trade and buy stocks, ETFs, bonds, and cryptocurrencies completely free. Also, if you download using the link in the description below, you'll get one free stock valued up to $200 just for signing up. No, you don't have to deposit a dime, and you could become instantly a part owner in companies like Microsoft, Walmart, McDonald's, or Disney just by getting lucky. So download Robinhood today and start taking advantage of this historic 2020 stock market crash. No, that's not my full portfolio. You guys aren't ready for that just yet. What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got some super fantastic duels for you guys to check out, and there is gonna be some Yu-Gi-Oh played in these duels. We know that because we got Metaphys. Metaphys is the deck that doesn't really OTK that much, and it also doesn't make any negations. So it's basically a force to play Yu-Gi-Oh with you, and it's gonna be dueling against the Eldorado zombies. Some people call this Eldlich, but I have given up that name, and I will only refer to this archetype from now on as Eldorado. The Eldorado version of zombies probably is not as good as the pure version, even in the TCG. Excuse me, where we don't have 3 copies of Skill Drain like they do in the OCG, but I mean, it's still definitely a deck that can do a lot of powerful things just because zombies have powerful cards. I mean, things like Unizombie and Baller Drock, like those are amazing cards. Now, if your Unizombie gets stopped like this, then a lot of times them zombie turns ain't all that good, and he just sets a couple of those Eldorado trap cards and passes it back to his opponent. Now, he is going to end up banishing a Necroface. That's always good when you're playing like Metaphys, because you get a chance at getting those pluses. And he did hit a Nemesis monster that can add itself back to his hand for free. Unfortunately, Vampire Fowlin's going to stop that battle damage. If Ragnarok would have done battle damage, he could have summoned a Metaphys monster and, you know, even done even more damage hypothetically. But whatever, he gets a free +1. So it's not all bad. Now this time he will be able to get, I think that was Banshee in the graveyard. That gets him a free copy of Zombie World. Now he's going to start summoning those Eldorado trap cards. And I think he's ultimately going to end, yeah, he goes for the Vendread Link monster. And this is cool because not only can he take this guy down in battle, he can load his graveyard up with Baller Drock at the same time. And then that's just going to be a free +1. Because it'll summon itself during the standby phase, and it's actually double disruption built into a card. His opponent probably needs to try to force that out. Here's where he gets debated. He's gonna get mind blasted, if you guys know what I mean. He ends up banishing a face down monster, and guess what it is? See, 200 IQ player right there. He sets the Necroface knowing his opponent's gonna go after it with the Baller Drop. That means he ends up banishing cards. Oh, wait a minute, actually I got debated. He uses the negation part of Baller Drop, so rest in pep. See, there's your double disruption from Baller Drop. You gotta kill that card, or you gotta get your opponent to like stupidly throw it away. He is going to summon Eldlich, the Golden Lord, from his deck. He uses Crossout Designator, and he's going to chain Metaphys Dimension. This is the card that when any Metaphys card is banished, you get to pop something on your opponent's side of the field. So that's why these Metaphys builds, well, I mean, Crossout Designator is already good, but usually they'll banish their own cards just to like trigger this and, you know, get stuff banished and whatnot. I think he's gonna banish Tyrant Dragon. Yeah, he's going to banish Metaphys Tyrant Dragon. That at least pops a monster so that he doesn't die, because I feel like he probably would have got gamed, or he would have been close to losing right there if he hadn't used that. Anyways, let's see what he's going to do. Go for Vampire Sucker. Maybe he's looking to draw a card. His opponent is going to go ahead and summon Ragnarok, and we'll see if he ends up hitting anything. He could have gone for a rank 10 here. Interesting. I mean, maybe he feels like it wouldn't have been important, or I don't know if zombie players are really running rank 10s, but I do know the, you know, Eldorado deck can run rank 10s, and he's in the position to summon like, I don't know, Gustav Max or something like that. Anyways, we'll see what Metaphys is going to do. And actually, you'll notice something right here. This is not an ideal situation for the zombie deck, and that's because he doesn't have Baller Drock on the field, and he doesn't have any more zones. He can't summon Baller Drock. He has the 2, you know, Eldlichs, that's fine and everything, but his opponent did banish that Tyrant Dragon, and that means he can special summon a Metaphys monster from his hand. Looks like Daedalus is coming to play, and bye-bye to all your monsters, because they all get banished. What was that, like a +5 just now? Oh my goodness, that was like a +5. And by the way, since he did banish one of his Metaphys monsters, He also triggered the Metaphys dimension, which allowed him to pop an additional card, which I believe was the zombie world. So that entire transaction, I think it was like a +6 because, yeah, he did lose his, he lost his Ragnarok, but it's perfectly fine. I think when you get a +6 off of one random Metaphys monster, you're feeling pretty good. And he was able to get the field spell off field. So even if this duel didn't just end right here, because he wasn't going to lose the duel, he was just going to take 26 to the face, his opponent wasn't going to be able to get the baller drop back, at least not this turn. He would have had to play this, wait a turn, and hopefully in the standby phase it wouldn't have died. But looks like he had ways of he could have just, I don't know, destroyed it with Metaphys Dimension, or I guess it would have been easier to take out Zombie World at that point, because if you take out Baller Drop, it just keeps coming back. Anyways, none of that happened, so it's irrelevant. Second duel, Orcust Cyber Dragon. And look, I feel like the Cyber Dragon Orcust deck is still legitimate. You still have a lot of very powerful trap cards. They're searchable, and we still know that a card like Machine Duplication is nuts, especially in this deck, because you don't just dupe, like, you don't just have the possibility of duping your Cyber Dragons. If I'm not mistaken, you can dupe oh my god, what is the damn chick's name? The main deck Orcust girl, Nightmare Orcust. Yeah, you can dupe her too, because she's like 0 attack. Anyways, let's see where this goes. I think he's going to go orchestrated return, and then he is going to get the machine dupe plus the Cyber Dragon core. So it looks like he's pretty much like set. Now, I personally believe he's going to screw this up, but you guys will maybe have different opinions on that. He's going to go for Cyber Dragon Nova. I do not believe he should have made Infinity here, because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, he already has Nashter in hand. He could special summon Nashter, reborn the Cyber Dragon Nova, then rank up into Infinity and, figure out a way to go on the Orcust plays after that. But I feel like if you're going to make Infinity and not using your first turn, you're probably not doing it right. But regardless, he is going to go into the Orcust side. This chick, yeah, this is the one right here, Orcust Nightmare. You can machine dupe her, as crazy as that sounds. It's something you can actually do. And I believe these Cyber Dragon Orcust players do that on occasion. I mean, if you're desperate, you're desperate. Anyways, he is going to get Galatea. He's going to put the Wonder Wand back in his deck. He's going to get Babel. He's going to go for Dingirsu, and I think he's going to end on Galatea. I guess he just wants to be able to summon the Dingirsu during his opponent's turn. He's going to finally set Climax and set Overflow. I'm not going to lie, this is a good turn, but if he could have figured out a way to also have Infinity, that's when you start, like, this is kind of unbreakable, you know what I mean? Because if you got 3 negations, plus you got the Dingirsu as like a fourth interruption, how exactly is your opponent dealing with all of that? It is going to be very difficult. And Dark Ruler No More, evenly matched. This technically plays around all that, even Spear Mode. If you don't summon Dingirsu, it even plays around things like Spear Mode. So very difficult to deal with. Anyways, his opponent is going to, I believe, start with the Interrupted Slumber. You cannot let that resolve. You basically have to negate that. No, you're not trying to lose your monsters for nothing. Also, if you lose your Galatea, then you can't even use your Climax. And that is luckily going to banish the Slumber, so he can't get a search off of that. He's going to go for that copy of the Golden Castle of Stromberg. You definitely don't want that to resolve, so he's going to go ahead and use Dingirsu on that. But his opponent is like, don't worry, Cap, I'm not done with this guy just yet. Luckily, he keeps on discarding. He's going to discard this Gizmek to get a draw. The power of dangers, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to discard another Gizmek. This boy is getting lucky with these Gizmeks. He gets a second Golden Castle of Stromberg, but guess what? This one isn't going to resolve either because of Overflow. So he's going to pop his monster, and he's also going to go ahead and pop his copy of Stromberg. Who do you think is going to win this duel? Because the answer might actually shock you. I looked at the game state and I was like, all right, well, I feel like pretty much we know who won. And no, I did not. Douglas the Timeless, Dougaris the Timeless, I believe. And then he's going to summon his Danger Bigfoot. He is going to bring back his Orochi. He goes into number 97. You guys know how I feel about this card. This card is insane under Master Rule 5. It was basically trash under Master Rule 4. Borderline unplayable, much like Ultimate Tizokin, but then it allows you to summon Numeron Dragon, and this guy just comes out at damn near 20,000 attack, and he's like, you say what, or what is it that the British people, you what, mate? No, excuse me, he's not at 20,000. He's 21,000 attack. You freaking what, mate? And he's gonna one-shot his opponent with over 19,000 damage. That feels like it was kind of dirty. I feel like Maybe the player who probably should not have won ended up winning. But I mean, this guy played through like 4 disruptions, or at least 3. I mean, it depends on how you count disruptions, because the overflow, it popped 2 cards, but it was at least 3 disruptions. See, that's why he needed the 4th disruption. If he would have only had the Cyber Dragon Infinity, I feel like there would have been a way for him to be able to combat all of that. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And you know what? Actually, here, I'm going to show you guys this crazy deck, because the entire point of this deck, I actually had a bunch of these duels, but the entire point of this guy's deck is just to summon 97, then summon Numeron Dragon, and just kind of one-shot the opponent. Let's check that out for a second. Okay, so this is what the deck looks like on paper. I knew, and I haven't actually looked at this deck, I knew that Double or Nothing had to be in here, because even as I was going through that duel, I was just like, you know what? I don't even think that Duggarus into the Numeron Dragon play was the only way to OTK. I'm pretty sure that Double or Nothing could have done it as well. Plus, I've seen a lot of these Golden Castle builds. The ones that run the level 4s like Iron Hans and Iron Knight, usually they'll run Double or Nothing because they go into rank 4 plays. You don't just have to always go into Hextrude, the level 8 monster from your deck. Sometimes you can just go for an instant rank 4 play, and if you have Golden Castle and your opponent doesn't have anything, then that's basically just a 1-card Double or Nothing OTK with Utopia, assuming your opponent has a monster. But you can see just by the build of this deck obviously wants to go second, and it's about doing 2 things: making rank 8s and then also making rank 4s. This is an Exceed deck through and through. You got basically nothing but Exceed monsters. You got your 1 random Link monster in here. Everything else is either a rank 8 or it's a rank 4 monster, and you do have your number 41 Baguska. That's just like a backup plan in case you don't got an OTK, but you need the star. I think this deck is fine going second, because you do have a lot of breakboard cards. Like, you got the Twin Twisters, you got the Slumbers, you got all, obviously, like the billion Kaijus in here as well. And I did just go ahead and pull up the Orcust Cyber Dragon deck for people who are interested to see a newer version, because it's been a little while since we've seen this deck. The last time we did, there was no Eternity Code and there was no Mech Knight Orcust Girsu. So for anybody interested in either one of these decks, obviously they will be in the description below.